Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fans of Skytear. Welcome. I am the commander of again reporting in for duty, joined by Michael. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Always happy to be here. Always happy to co-cast with you, Mr. Commander.
Thank you. Today we bring you...
Mr. Dr. Commander.
Not Doctor yet. We still got about 3 years for that. In this scenario, we are getting ready to watch Smeoz, Gameslayer, go at it in round number 6 of the Ashen Pass. The loser does go home for today.
Just today?
Only today. After that, they get kicked out of their family.
Shoot. Okay.
Yeah, the
stakes, high stakes here.
That is correct. The stakes are high. So, now that we've set that morbid tone here, let's go through the decks these players will be bringing. Gameslayer, in traditional I want to flip and kill you fashion, is going to be bringing Yami, Hokusai, Akimo, Sakochi, Ishitask, and Kumaya. Smeoz, bringing the blue squad, Astrida, Freyhill, Shillavi, Ekrit, Korjov, and Gulbjorn, the original 6 blue heroes. Now, Vordhild, not welcome here. Also, Ekrit is not actually blue. So Brovar is apparently not welcome
here. She's totally a part of the blue squad.
She is what we're going to call
She is the blue squad.
We're going to call her pseudo-blue.
Pseudo-blue?
Yes.
Bluto.
Bluto, I love it. Perfect. All right, so we did actually, as you can see, get the coin flip live on stream. As apparently they did not do that beforehand. That's okay, no problem. And so as a result of the coin flips, I assume that Gameslayer won because he's going second, or Smeoz elected to go first. One of those two. We see the draft going right off the bat very quickly, both players knowing that what they want, Smeoz summoning Astrida to the field, and Gameslayer responding with with Sakoshi and Hokusai.
Yes, this is going to be very interesting, I think, for Gameslayer. I was talking to him at the beginning of the game, and he was thinking that Smeoz was going to be bringing either Korjov or Gulbjorn in the spot where Astrida was in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's already maybe not thrown for a loop, but surprised.
Yep, we do see the finish of the draft there. Akimo, and then Yami in reserve. Interesting for Gameslayer. And then Smeoz summons Shillavi, Freyhill, and then Gulbjorn, who definitely is Gulbjorn, in reserve.
Yes.
All right. Now, unfortunately, our game objectives here are Tactician and the Tamer, but for whatever reason, the Tamer is not appearing on the overlay for reasons that I'm not sure. So perhaps that'll shake out as the game goes on. But if not...
Let's try this. Let's see if we do that.
There
we go.
All right, perfect. So there we go. So Tactician, we know how that works. Win control zones 6 times. And the Tamer, kill 2 enemy heroes using an outsider. And oh baby, we've got double Silent Ambassador, which means Tamer very, very likely as an option because the Tamer does a lot of damage.
The Silent Ambassador, one of those characters that you never really expect to output a lot of damage until it does.
Yes.
And with Gameslayer bringing Hokusai, he's going to be able to utilize the Silent Ambassador's abilities, I feel, a bit more effectively than Smeoz, because he's able to melt off that armor.
Yes.
So we see an opening move from Smeoz, moving Shillavi into the dome. Yep,
indeed. She goes into the dome. Interesting that she did the worship action first, though.
That's so that Astrida can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was fixing a few things and I didn't quite pay attention to that one, so all caught up to the game now. That makes sense.
And finished off with a lead from the hand.
Yes.
Very standard opening move, I feel, from a lot of players. Going straight for the domes to build up that advantage, that outsider advantage.
Yes.
Because we all know you only need really one hero in lane to push it as far as it needs to go.
Speaking of standard
unless,
openings,
of course... Oh, here comes a Hokusai.
Yep, Gameslayer charges in, takes control of the Hex, kills a minion, and then I assume will either lead or worship onto Astrida.
I want to get a modified Hokusai model that looks like Santa, and I'm going to call him Hoga Santa.
And
he's coming to your town. He's coming to... No, I feel like Sakoshi would be better for that because he can see you when you're hiding.
It's true. He sees you when you're hiding. He sees you in the bushes. If I was musically talented, I'd be able to come up with a freestyle song. But
he knows when you've been Nupton or Taulat. So
I hate you so much.
Be Karumo for Karumo's sake.
Why did I let you do this co-cast with me?
You didn't. I volunteered.
That's true. And we do see the lead from the hand to finish.
We do. No.
Maybe not.
He's not.
Oh, okay.
Not joining the cast.
I thought we were getting some guest commentary from our analyst expert as Astrida moves in, attacks a minion, kills a minion, and then will spawn a minion, and then probably finish off with a lead action, I assume.
Seems appropriate.
Yep. Again, trying to make sure the Gameslayer doesn't slam the control token straight up against his tower, and then Smeoz has to worry about a turn 2 Nexus Destruction because Gameslayer just has an overwhelming presence. And
Gameslayer casted presence? What?
That would be a first. If Gameslayer used the presence card, particularly because his entire squad is red, that would be interesting.
Presence so powerful, heroes that can't cast it still run it.
Amazing. All right, and
we do see a lead from Astrida.
Yep.
So.
Ooh.
And this one is also from the hand. This puts Smeoz down to 4 cards in hand. If he utilizes any more cards from hand, he is going to be at fewer than max cards at the start of next round.
Yes. And speaking of cards, let's talk a little bit about what are the cards that each player is bringing to the game. So, Smeoz is going to, with a combination of Astrida, Freyhill, Shillavi, and Golbjorn, is going to be bringing Charm, Shove, Redirect, Chasm, Nourish, Sacrifice, Snowblind, Nightmares Incarnate, Presence, as we mentioned, Soul Scream, Psychic Shields, Through the Eyes, and Sinkholes. Gameslayer, on the other hand, with Yami, Hokusai, Akimo, and Sakoshi, is going to be bringing Skytear Discharge, Psychic Shields, Quick Shot, Rampant Hatred, Unstoppables, Clear Minds, Doom, Release the Spirits, Provoke the Beast, and Blazing Edges. So, as we predicted, lots and lots of violence from Gameslayer, lots and lots of control from Smeoz.
I'm not terribly surprised to see the charm from Smeoz.
Nope.
I don't know that it will be terribly effective here, though. But, of course, as we all know, you can't really fill your deck with terribly effective cards for every matchup. Some of them are going to be a little subpar.
So I would say that the charm is useful in this case because with both Akimo and the Hokusai on the field against someone like Astrida or Freyhill that has an armor, getting rid of the mark effectively removes 2 damage, right? Because Hokusai reduces your armor by 1 for being marked, and then Akimo gets +1 attack against marked.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point. We're going to see if he has it here.
Let's see what
happens. With the attack. I believe we're still waiting on the response from
Smeoz. Yes.
Smeoz?
Yep. Oh, Smeoz is going to pop
There's the flux.
So is this
probably a Snowblind? No, a Shove.
Okay, so Shove. Shove, let me find Shove, because I can bring these cards up on stream now. Shove does, there we go, show me Shove. Shove, push an adjacent hero 1 hex. Target adjacent hero 1 hex. And so this is one of those reasons why Akimo doesn't see as much play, is he's very easy just to get knocked around and bullied. It's a feels bad man.
Yep, and that was a singleton shove that Smeoz threw at him. So very, very fortunate. These are reasons why you run singleton cards, because that is a lot of damage on a chemo.
Okay. 3 damage from the flip there. Good use of the ultimate in round 1, since you can't use those for at least 2 more rounds. And then Freyhill goes into the dome. So in this case, Gameslayer cannot contest dome number 2, cannot force a tie in that lane. So Sakoshi, I assume, will move into the bush, probably shoot a minion, and then skirmish over into the dome. And that way...
See, I'm actually expecting... Oh, go ahead.
No. I was going for your counterpoint.
What I was going to say is I actually kind of expect Sakoshi to move worship and attack minions to kind of get that minion count down, because if Gameslayer can pressure the Nexus heavily in the first round, it's going to force Smeoz into an uncomfortable position, I feel.
That's true.
Especially if he can position his minions in such a way that Astrida can't hit them very easily round 1 or round 2.
The only concern that I would have with that plan is, in order to set yourself up like that for Sakoshi, is that you would easily put yourself within the Silent Ambassador's Stone Storm AoE. Like, if you made it so that you got Astrida with your worship, you're going to have to be within range where both Sakoshi and Akimo can get hit by the Stone Storm. And neither of them have armor, but also both of them do like to have their movement. And so I'm not certain that you'd want to incentivize that kind of counterattack from Smeoz. It definitely would apply Nexus pressure, but I don't know if having both Sakoshi and Akimo slowed is a worthwhile trade-off.
Yeah, that's the thing too, though, is that one of the objectives is Tamer, and Gameslayer's Provoke the Beasts are going to be useless until the Outsider comes out. Once the Outsider does come out, we have a sneaking expectation it's going to spawn pretty adjacent to Akimo, if not, well, possibly further away. Due to Provoke the Beast. Nope, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
So the idea is that Smeoz isn't running Provoke the Beast, so Tamer's not going to really be a thing early on. If he can get Sakoshi killed in round 2, not from an outsider, then Tamer's less likely. You bring Yami in. Yami comes in, and there's the move, the attack on Astrida.
Well, he clicked skirmish, but he flipped 2 cards, so I have to assume that was a misclick. Okay.
No,
Although,
that was probably an attack.
But then didn't Astrida have 14 HP? Wouldn't that bring her down to 9?
It wouldn't, because she's at -1 armor.
Yeah, so Sakoshi would do 3 plus the 2 flip for 5. Like, if she was at 14, yeah. If she was at 14, she has no armor, so Sakoshi does 3 plus 2 damage. I don't know. I don't know what he did there is the problem, because he did one thing, and then he clicked something else is the problem, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, well.
I did see the move.
Wait, no. I think he took damage earlier, or she took damage earlier during Akimo's turn. Never mind. Okay. Everything is...
Yeah.
Everything is fine. No panic. All right, so... Lane resolution, lane number 1, we do see that Gameslayer did win lane number 1 by 1, so that's going to be 1 tactician point for him. And Smeoz wins the dome uncontested, 5-0. Gameslayer probably feeling pretty good about that investment, but now we are going to see the Silent Ambassador appear on the field, so let's get her abilities up. Placing the Silent Ambassador must be adjacent to her dome's perimeter. Wormhole, probably my favorite ability, and I think yours as well, allows you to swap a target hero's position with any other hero that is within 4 hexes. Does not have to be within line of sight, and it is 4, which is a little bit longer than the usual rule of 3 for Skytear. Farsight, very straightforward, predict 2. And then the Stone Storm, which is what we were talking about earlier, place the AoE within 2 hexes, deal 1 plus a flip, and slow. So as we can see, Akimo and Sakoshi are both within range of the 2x2 Stone Storm effect.
Yep. They're okay, so there's the attack on Akimo. It's gonna take 4. And I do see a very effective Stone Storm on Sakoshi and Akimo here. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, nope, there's a wormhole.
Okay.
To
okay.
That's why.
Yep,
That's why Estrida ended up at 10 was because she had the 1 armor because Hokusai couldn't see her.
Ah, you're right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. Yep, because she's in the bushes. Hokusai's ability is... Yep. And also, and the damage also came then from 1 plus the flip. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. All right. Glad we've got that resolved. So, yes, so Stone Storm does come down. Hokusai and Akimo are slowed. A little bit crippling for melees. Obviously, in round 2, they are in decent position here. They can do skirmishing to get a little bit closer. And they are both within 3 of the Silent Ambassador, which means they are able to trigger Provoke the Beasts. Do need to get line of sight to Estrida first in order to do that, but nevertheless, still an option for Gameslayer to start killing Estrida.
Also worth noting that Gameslayer does run Clear Minds, and I don't think we've seen any hit the discard. We have not. So Clear Mind could very well be a solution. Oh, we're seeing a discharge come down on Shillavi.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Skytear Discharge does deal 2 plus a flip every time the hero crosses a white line. Like so.
Yep. Looks like it's going to be 5 in this case. Shillavi's going to strike back at Akimo for 6.
Oh boy. Akimo down to 3 HP. Is within kill range.
And there's the kill.
That was the worship action to heal her.
I see.
Smeoz hit attack.
Okay.
Accident. So Shillavi back up to 17. All right,
and he's got...
Mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, that was his last action was worshipping.
Correct.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, he attacked, moved, attacked, and then worshipped. So, as Gameslayer, do you activate Akimo now and get the big damages off before you die? Or do you wait and let Yami come in? That is the question.
I think you... I think you have to sit for a second and ponder it. Personally, like, I see Estrida sitting over there, hasn't activated, sitting at 10. So a skirmish attack would bring her low, if not kill her, especially since she is still marked.
Okay.
However, I see a Sakoshi that can also bring Estrida low.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can wait for Estrida to activate, then you're bringing Golbjarn in exhausted. And that probably would be a bit more effective.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly am not entirely sure.
Maybe
you skirmish with Akimo, attack a minion, and then
provoke the beast. Provoke the beast.
Yeah,
provoke the beast.
If you have a provoke the beast, that could probably work. Provoke the beast here, something that I personally had never thought of, but wasn't until it was played against me. Was using provoke the beast as a quick shot. to
Okay.
get rid of minions.
Okay.
And I think especially since the control hex is closer to Smeoz's dome,
Mm-hmm.
or not dome, Nexus. I feel like a Nexus win would probably favor Gameslayer.
One of the things that is interesting that I did forget to, or that we did talk about briefly when we did the deck run through, Smeoz has redirects. So if a chemo is within the area, it might be the case that Smeoz forces the attack to be redirected against Shilovy and then uses revenge to kill him. Now, the problem with that, of course, is that Yami would come in ready because Yukimo would die mid-activation, but it would be useful potentially to save a Strida and also, or save a minion, depending on where the attack was located. So he may have to be
He doesn't have redirect in this list, does he?
Yes, he does. It's on his Strida.
Oh, Smeoz does.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Smeoz, not Gameslayer. Yeah. Sorry. I thought I communicated that. I have to work on my communication skills.
You might have. You might have. No. It's not you. It's probably me.
Okay. I'm always happy to pass
That's a good point. That's a really good point because, well, no, because the attack from the outsider is part of the power card.
Okay.
You wouldn't, like, the target you would have to change is the outsider that you were targeting, not the character that you were hitting with the attack action.
Well,
because the attack action is not actually an action.
I meant more if, like, when you said a chemo attacks a minion. Like, if he positioned a chemo, like, if he skirmished down two so that he was directly to the right of Shilovy and then went to attack a minion, Smeoz could grab that attack from a chemo, not from the provoked beast.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, it looks like that's not going to be the case, though, or he would have probably done this here. So we do have a skirmish action against Astrida. This time, the armor actually is reduced. Astrida's going to now play Snowblind. Oh, no! That's going to hit 3
Those are
people.
going to be some disarmed heroes.
Oh, no! Oh, by the way, we should probably get the Silent Ambassador's HP on the board here, since she is now being attacked.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and tent them specifically.
Okay. Silent Ambassador has 18 HP, right? Or is it 19?
Silent Ambassador does have 18 HP.
Okay, very good. I don't want to accidentally drop her on the wrong one. All right, so Snowblind does provide disarm in a breath area AoE, like so. And disarm to each enemy hero, of which the Silent Ambassador currently is. Outsiders are always considered enemy heroes, except during the time that you're activating them. And so Akimo, Sakoshi, and the Silent Ambassador all now get disarmed. Which will be unfortunate if we see her Silent Ambassador activate during the end phase here, the minion phase. And also it kind of disincentivizes using that Provoke the Beast card, because that would also cut the attack value in half.
Yes, it does. That's a really important aspect of it, too.
Unless, of course, as you mentioned earlier, you use Provoke the Beast to just kill minions, at which point you don't really care about disarm. All right, but we are going to go ahead. We are going to go ahead and attack. Oh, 3 damage after the disarm. Can you imagine how good that would have been if he was not disarmed? Like, Astrida would have been in kill range.
Would have, yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
As is, Astrida is still technically in kill range.
Mm-hmm.
Because Astrida is at
oh baby,
there's a presence from Astrida, or not Astrida, Frail. And this is probably going to secure the dome, I would expect.
Depends on what Freyhill wants to do here. She's not currently shapeshifted, although I guess it doesn't matter if she's going to go after Akimo, because Akimo doesn't have armor to begin with. But Presence will give Freyhill a +1 and then let him predict 2. So depending on what he predicts here, Smeoz might just slide Freyhill into the cover hex there below Astrida and then just blast Akimo to death. Or he can choose to lead, also an option as well.
Yep.
And then we're going to go
So
ahead and
that was
worship.
the presence, worship,
I assume
and yep,
Yep.
to heal for 1.
1. Okay. So every point counts.
It does. It does.
And for the skirmish.
And then a skirmish.
Are we going out into the dome? Or out into the lane, I assume? Because you could potentially kill a chemo here with a +3 on the flip. And you know what you're going to flip on this skirmish. Or is he just repositioning her?
I actually don't think he knows what he's going to flip here.
Well, he got the predict
because he tossed.
Oh, he tossed.
Right.
Okay.
He tossed away one, led with the other, and then healed with a third card.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yep, that's right. Whenever you have the screen frozen on the game board, you do miss the finer details. So thank you for correcting that.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. So
passing it back over to Gameslayer.
Yes.
I do. I think you. Would have.
Here's the thing. Hokusai worships Strida, moves, and then skirmishes. And you can.
He is slow.
Oh,
he is slow.
That's true. You're right. I forgot that. Oops. Never mind. New plan. Yeah. Akimo. Yeah, and Akimo is also slowed.
Yep.
Which means. Yeah, and the presence
it
there.
It means that Sakoshi and Shilavi and the Silent Ambassador have created a wall.
Yes.
That is presently protecting Astrida, and that's not going to be great for Gameslayer in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel like going with Sakoshi here was a poor play.
Yeah.
Going after Astrida. Well, I actually was thinking more about the play with Akimo, because if they kill off Akimo, then you get to bring Yami in.
Yes.
And wouldn't that be fantastic?
So here's the problem. For Gameslayer, even though the Silent Ambassador is disarmed, with Akimo only having 3 HP, Silent Ambassador still kills Akimo easily, which means Gameslayer needs to do something about the dome, but Freyhill currently has what I assume is a control value of 5, because she has presence, and then she led from the deck after prediction, which I assume was a 3 mana.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be an easy tamer kill for Smeoz.
Yep.
Unless Gameslayer has the clear mind and can move and skirmish into the dome and try to get away from the outsider, but he can still get yanked out and teleported and just all sorts of nasty things. Maybe it wouldn't be as debilitating at that point, though.
Well, if he moves and skirmishes into the dome, that would force the Silent Ambassador to at least waste her skirmish or move action to get into range to be able to grab him. Which means then she would only have the attack action to kill him, which still is likely to do enough. Well, maybe not, because with the disarm, Smeoz would need to flip a 2. And his deck is not super high on modifiers. There are a number of +1s and 0s, and a couple -1s as well, so that would actually give be about a 50-50 shot.
Another thing worth noting here, I feel, is that Akimo and Hokusai can run into Dome 2 and contest it and try to win or tie it. And there's... Oh, well, no, that's not true. I suppose there's a way for Astrida to move over to Dome 3.
Yes, yeah, Astrida can get into Dome 3 right now. Barely, but she can do it.
It seems like a waste, potentially. Especially considering his, the control hex is inching towards his Nexus, and Astrida's whole kit is about getting that lane to push.
So, with Shilavi and the 3 minions currently, Smeoz would have a control value of 4. with Akimo and Hokusai both being slowed and Shillavi being there, Gameslayer's ability to affect the lane is limited, which means that Smeoz, I think, would be okay taking the... Well, never mind. Nobody's led yet. So with a lead action, Freyja, that would be 6 plus
Sakoshi actually has.
Oh, did he? Why is it not showing up?
Sakoshi has, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it did. I'm sorry. It wasn't showing up for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. So, okay, yeah. In that case, that could potentially be 9-3 or 9-4, excuse me. So that would be a 5-point lead. So that would be 3 minions dead plus 2 tower points. Smeoz might be okay with taking 2 points of tower damage in exchange for getting to double Silent Ambassador Gameslayer.
Yep.
Particularly because with their current positioning, you could double Stone Storm to get the Akimo kill, and then just funnel all your attacks on Sakoshi.
I think here you just you can I think here you continue to push up the lane, and allow Akimo to die to Tamer, and bring Yami in, and just have her jump all over the place.
Sure.
I was reviewing the Sakoshi play, and Sakoshi could have easily taken out 2 minions, one from the attack and the other from the worshipping on the outsider.
Yeah, the problem here is that Astrida and Shillavi now are both shapeshifted, which means, if you attack Shillavi, she's going to revenge against Akimo. Or if you do any damage to her, she's going to revenge against Akimo. And then Astrida can revenge against Sakoshi, and that'll chip his HP. Sakoshi's at 15, so he's not in any immediate danger of dying, but he does have 0 armor, which could mean that those HPs disappear rather quickly.
Yep. Another thing that Gameslayer could do if he's worried about holding on to Akimo from a Tamer kill is if he has the clear mind, and this is really only if he has the clear mind, he can worship on the outsider to move 1 hex closer to the other dome, and then skirmish deep into the dome, and that way he contests the dome. He could potentially get the dome and the Silent Ambassador there, and it prevents the Dome 2 Silent Ambassador from just straight yanking him over. She has to actually work at that point.
That is true. That is a good point. Okay, so that might work.
That's only if he has the clear minds, and he's down to 4 cards in hand. So the likelihood of that is slimming.
Can you check his discard to see how many clear minds he's flipped? Meanwhile, the question from the chat is, how would he take the other dome because both heroes are slowed? That's what Michael's point was. This requires a clear mind in order to work.
Yeah. He has flipped 0 clear minds. So out of 15, 19, we're going to say 19 because he led from the hand, and there's no way that's a clear mind. So out of 19 cards, he's got 2 clear minds. He also has, I believe, released the spirits.
Okay.
Which would
cleanse the.
Would also.
That would at least remove the. Oh my God! The shapeshift marks. There we go.
Yes, it would. So he could potentially just release those spirits.
Yep.
That's 5 cards that he has to remove conditions to out of 19. I have to assess that he has at least one of them, and I think he's considering utilizing it from Sakoshi based on his positioning.
So, yeah, either Sakoshi or Akimo, you could use it because you could just shoot it straight down from Akimo and get both Shillavi and Astrida.
Oh, ideally, you'd hit the Silent Ambassador as well and try to get the Provoke the Beast's attacks off.
Well, that's true. That's a double.
If you have it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't have Provoke the Beast, then obviously you want to leave the Silent Ambassador disarmed because in this case, Smeoz is pretty much guaranteed to win Dome number 2. And so I think you want to leave it disarmed because otherwise... you're going to get shut down. I mean, to be fair, Akimo is pretty much 100% dead anyways. I'm going to say like 99% just because, again, we did talk about the possibilities that might allow him to survive, but barely.
Yeah, it's a slim chance.
So, unlikely, but possible.
Unlikely, but possible. This is just like the chances of anyone making it into the World Finals.
Well, but somebody has to.
Slim, but not impossible.
But somebody has to do it, right?
I mean, yeah.
Also, we are, according to my timer, we are at about 37 minutes, which means we get 43 minutes before Daddy Ricardo shows up with the belt. Or 53 minutes till Daddy Ricardo shows up with the belt.
Oh, God, no. No, Ricardo, this is... This
Do we still
this
have a
is
time
not...
limit?
Don't. This is Smeoz and Gameslayer. These are two of the best players in Skytear. There's no reason for you to come in here and be oh, you guys need to be quicker about it.
Oh, there it is.
There's the release the spirits.
Wait. From
going
Hokusai. Oh.
That's gonna hit Akimo. That's gonna hit Shillavi. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, here's something. Release the spirits actually is going to allow Akimo to do work. So release the spirits. We did see it briefly there. Let's bring this up a little bit more. Removes conditions from every hero hit, and then cannot gain gain new conditions, which means now Akimo is free to go on a rampage.
But he's also not activating. It's Hokusai's activation is where we're looking at this.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure why Hokusai waited till his activation to do it.
So,
but I'm sure there's a reason.
I would expect this is why, because he's attacking Shillavi, and now Shillavi's no longer shapeshifted, which means she can't revenge to kill Akimo.
That's a good point.
Or soften up Sakoshi, whichever option she wanted to go for. So now, Gameslayer is going to be able to wail on her for a little bit.
I wonder if suiciding Akimo against Shillavi wouldn't have been a bad idea.
I know, yeah, because then you'd have gotten Yami to come in, so possibly, but I think...
And be active.
And be active, but I think Gameslayer wants the 5+ double flip damage as an option.
That makes sense.
Because we do see the worship action coming in from Hokusai, so we're going to blast Astrida for 2 more... Oh, goodness, I have hiccups, excuse me. 2 more damage brings her down to 4. Now, Astrida is still shapeshifted, so she can revenge against Sakoshi if she so chooses.
Doesn't look like she's going to. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't see any reason not to.
I know, really. Like, you're softening up the marksman, so...
Nope.
Okay.
Not doing it.
All right, very good. So, Astrida, final activation. Now, does Astrida go and kill Sakoshi, or excuse me, kill Akimo? Does she go for Dome number 3 for the squeeze play, or does she do something differently entirely?
I at this point, I feel like going for Dome 3 is risky at best.
I agree.
Because you move, you skirmish, and then you either have an attack and you attack a minion, or you lead in Dome 3, and that opens you up to one of 2 things. The first thing it does is it opens you up to getting Nexus breached.
Yep.
The second thing it does is opens you up to being contested or even beaten in Dome 3, so that you end up only getting one tactician point, and you're very spread out at that point.
All right, so, well, the thing, too, though, is Astrida does have to run, because now that Akimo is no longer slowed, he can easily make it to her. Move, worship, and then attack, or move skirmish. Actually, she's already marked, so move skirmish attack, and that would be a guaranteed kill. Ooh. So, Gameslayer was looking to be in a significant amount of trouble, but there is light. After the events of his turn, there is some light.
Yes, I feel Gameslayer is in a much better position now than he was
10 minutes ago when he took his turn.
At the beginning of Hokusai's turn, yeah.
10 minutes ago.
We see here Astrida is contemplating their options. I would not be surprised to see an attack to spawn minions or a lead. I would be surprised to see a lead from hand at all, or anything that doesn't provide her with a decent amount of protection.
You know what would
be... Go
ahead, keep going.
Well, I mean, what I was going to say is that we now have a Silent Ambassador that can see an Astrida and a potential Provoke the Beast that would potentially be devastating for Astrida.
I was going to say, you know what would be hilarious is if Gameslayer has another Release the Spirits. And so when Astrida goes for the attack, if she goes to attack a minion, and then Gameslayer just goes, I don't think so. That would mean...
Oh, just release the spirits in response?
Yep. So you would kill the minion, naturally.
I can see that.
But you would be wasting the main attack against the minion, or at least rather the spawn against the minion. And then, additionally, Astrida would not be able to shapeshift at the end of her turn, which means she would have 4 hit points. Akimo can just march over and kill her.
Yep. And she has no mana left. The only one that has mana left is Shillaby. And Smeoz is down to 3 cards in hand.
Yes.
Which is a precarious position for anyone who's ever been down to 3 cards in hand with an Astrida at 4 life knows what I'm talking about.
Now, to be fair, Smeoz does run a bunch of nourishes in this deck, so it is possible that Shillaby could come to the aid at the last second. That is a possibility. So I shouldn't say that Astrida is 100% dead. It is more like 95% dead.
Are you saying that Shillaby might potentially have a nourishing personality?
I hate you so much.
I am so glad you do.
I hate everything about you. God, he's worse than Corito, everyone. Like, I didn't think that was possible.
Don't hate the player. Hate the game, the play.
All right. Okay, so Astrida is going to attack, kill the minion. It looks like there is no double Release the Spirits. Attack a minion, spawn a minion, lose 2 HP. There better be a nourish, or else Astrida is going to get popped. Very, very easy.
I think he's just expecting Astrida to get popped.
That's fair.
I think that might be what he's expecting. So if Gameslayer runs over and kills off Astrida with Akimo, Gameslayer doesn't get the Tamer point. He does push up the lane, but he also releases the bear, which can be devastating. Now, what's interesting here is if he releases the bear here, and the token moves up, then spawns minions around the bear, then the bear ends up having to move. There's a lead from hand.
Yep.
And
so we did see the attack.
Smeoz throwing all caution to the wind, saying, "Woo! I definitely have enough life here to survive whatever you might throw at me." That +3 on the heel is brutal.
All right, so we saw the attack there. Sakoshi took a little bit of damage. Lead and the worship. So the Sakoshi damage, by the way, we forgot to mention. Sakoshi damage did occur after Astrida lost her HP. She did then choose to revenge against Sakoshi, got a +2 on the flip there, so that did 3 damage to Sakoshi, brought him down to 12, lead, and then worshipped. So the question is, can Akimo kill Astrida?
Is that the question?
I mean, yes, because there's nourishes, and she's got 6 HP now. Like, Homegirl's got some defense.
Is that the question? Because Akimo's at 3, and they're not contesting the dome there.
That's true.
Which means the Silent Ambassador is 100% going to be raining their parade on Akimo. I think Akimo runs over to Dome 3 Because Gameslayer definitely... Well, I say definitely.
With
Maybe
Gameslayer,
not
nothing
definitely.
is definite. Okay, so yeah, first use your attack against Shillovy. She's no longer shapeshifted. This is free damage, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
do it. Slash and dash, cut her jacket, a new hole in it. Smeoz has no response there, so this is going to be 4 plus 2 flips, 2 damage added on. Bring Shillovy down to 5, which means that Gameslayer now will be able to kill Shillovy during the minion phase with... Oh, actually, we're just going to bring her low to guarantee the kill during the minion phase, as he's going to get control of the Silent
skirmish.
Nice.
And then the move.
So, I
Like,
think...
right? He moves here.
Yes. Oh, he's definitely going to move. I think he's working on where he wants to final position himself into Dome 3. As you mentioned, he does get this dome uncontested. But I fully do expect that Smeoz's Silent Ambassador is going to drag a chemo out into the open and kill him. So I think Gameslayer wants to try and set it up.
It's just the way you said it, just drag him out into...
Get out here! Time to die!
No! The provoke the beast!
Oh no, there it is! Now, there is a disarm, but I don't think that matters with 3 HP. So provoke the beast, we've been talking about this, it's time to finally show it. Oh, and a +3 on the flip! Oh god,
Oh
okay.
my gosh!
He did it! The madman actually did it! Shillovy is down!
Oh, that is beautiful!
Oh my god,
Oh,
okay.
that is beautiful!
So, 6 damage cut in half is 3, which is exactly how much he needed. Oh, Gameslayer, you absolute mad lad. I cannot believe you pulled yourself out of the hole that you were in 4 activations ago. That was beautiful. Because...
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness. Now, oh my god, Akimo moves into the dome. If Astrida doesn't run for the hills during Smeoz's Silent Ambassador, Gameslayer just can kill her.
Yeah.
Like, it is easily conceivable to kill an Astrida at 6 HP with Stone Storm, Skirmish, and an attack.
There's a quick shot to contest the lane further.
Quick shot. Very straightforward. It kills a minion that is target adjacent. Nothing really particularly fancy about that.
I think right now they're determining... Yep, they're determining leads.
Yep.
I think Smeoz wins here by 1. Yep.
Yep, going back towards the center. So Smeoz does win the center, but ultimately not too bad. Again, he's only on a total of 3 tactician points here, as he will get another tactician point in Dome number 2. Gameslayer also on 2 tactician points then, as he will get a tactician point for Dome number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And we do respawn the minions. So minions spawn here. Doesn't really matter per se because of the rules. They're going to have to basically spawn in occupied hexes. But so now this is very interesting. So if Smeoz commits his Silent Ambassador to killing, to killing Akimo, then Astrida just dies.
Yeah.
Like, there are not enough actions to both get Akimo and protect Astrida. You must choose one or the other if you're Smeoz. And given that protecting Astrida leads to you continuing to play the game, you can't kill Akimo here. All right.
I don't know. I feel like... I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It looks like that's where Smeoz is positioning.
Yeah, he's gonna save Astrida. He has to save Astrida. Like, if you don't save Astrida... And also the other thing, too, is that his ambassador is disarmed. So, as we said, Smeoz would need at least a +2 on the flip. And so like, it's not even a guaranteed kill. So not saving Astrida is a foolish play. And we know that Smeoz is anything but foolish. So Smeoz is 100% going to save Astrida here.
Yeah, he has to.
I can't believe the Gameslayer pulled this off. This is I thought for certain he was like in a spot where he was in deep doggy doo-doo, and then he goes and does that. Like, I apologize, Gameslayer. I apologize for doubting you. I've played with you in the 2v2 league. I should know better. Please forgive me. And keep going because I need your fantasy points.
He's he's just displaying exactly why he's in the world fight. Like, this is the sort of stuff you expect at this high level.
It's true. It is very true. We have seen a lot of great Skytear content. And again, another shout out. I'd like to publicly thank my stream team, not my stream team, the stream team, that worked really hard yesterday. We have Zeragul, Athusium, Mattis G, Michael himself, of course, Shane Runan, and I'm forgetting one person, Rafa. There we go. I can't believe I forgot Rafa. Thank you guys. We did a lot of hard work yesterday. Everyone put in a lot of effort, casted a lot of games. Some of them were live, some of them were recorded, some of them were on other streams. Please go ahead, check out the channel to see what happened yesterday. Obviously, you can check the bracket and but a lot of these games were very much super exciting games, absolutely worth watching. So please go and check them out and send thank yous to the people that I just named for all of their hard work. All right, back to the game. Silent Ambassador for Smeoz is activating. We do see the Stone Storm ability came down, did 1+ the flip, and slowed Gameslayer's Silent Ambassador. And so does make it now impossible for Gameslayer's Silent Ambassador to go chase down Astrida and warp her into the field to kill her. But nevertheless can still deal a potential amount of damage to Gulbjorn or other battlefield conditions. We see Sakoshi taking some damage there, and I guess predicting 2 for the last effect.
I disagree. This does not... Oh, this doesn't prevent...
It doesn't at all. You're wrong. I'm wrong. You're right. Excuse me. Okay. So, Gameslayer is now going to activate. So the first ability he uses was the Wormhole. Now we're going to move over with a Skirmish ability here. +1 on the Skirmish does no damage, as Astrida does have an armor. Gameslayer cannot kill right here, but if he's got another Provoke the Beast, all right, that's going to be 3 damage, Astrida to 3 hit points. If he has another Provoke the Beast, then he can kill her.
Yep. And because Smeoz only doesn't have a point on the Tamer, if Smeoz can kill a chemo with the Outsider this round, it's not going to be enough. I don't think there's any way that Astrida can escape the multiple Silent Ambassadors.
Yeah. All right, so that goes ahead. We're on to round number 3. There's a lot of coin markers here on 3. We've got 2 people and the round marker. Oh boy, this is getting close. Nope.
Looks like they're turning off their HUD.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose they turned off their HUDs.
Yep.
It looks like Gameslayer's at 5 cards. Smeoz is at 4 cards.
Have we seen Song of the Siren?
We have. It was flipped.
Excellent. Okay.
Or
so that
used
means...
to lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So therefore...
No Song of the Siren here. I could see... I don't think we've seen Freyal's ultimate. I don't think we've seen Gulbjorn's ultimate.
Ooh, so both of those are possibilities that might be used to save a streak.
There's Freyal's ultimate.
Okay, so
Freyal's ultimate has been used as either a lead or a flip.
Okay.
But I don't see Gulbjorn's. That's not going to matter a whole bunch, I don't think.
So this movement here does save Astrida from being Tamer killed at this point, as the Tamer will not be able to shoot across the lines unless you have some way to move the Silent Ambassador across the line with like a shove, but I don't think Gameslayer has anything like that. Meanwhile, Sakoshi does fall down there to 5 hit points. Going to go ahead and worship. She will worship on... Oh, there comes Release the Spirits!
Does not matter. That Release the Spirits is going to prevent Astrida from... healing.
Yep.
And that means that Astrida is going to stay at 3 for now.
So the important
Now, we don't know what kind of nourishes or anything that Astrida has to heal her, but we know that this is a come to Jesus moment.
Yes. And importantly, Ooh, yeah. So the other thing too is
Oh.
Gameslayer does not care, I don't think, necessarily about the fact that he can't kill with Tamer. He can just go for total annihilation at this point. Which is a very Gameslayer-esque thing to do. Because once he kills off Astrida, then Smeoz is down to 2 heroes, and so then Gameslayer can just overwhelm with superior numbers. So Hokusai is going to go for the worship. Do we see a nourish response? Because if there is no nourishing response, but with the thinking here, I think Smeoz is wondering, is a Doom going to come out if I play Nourish? Because, or we're just going to disconnect. Of course, we're going to disconnect.
He thought so hard he killed the server.
Well, at least it's not me. At least it's not me. That's all I have to say.
It was Smeoz who set up the room, right?
Correct.
I think it was Smeoz.
That is correct. So, while we wait for the game to reload, we're going to do shameless plug with absolute terrible segues. As another friendly reminder, after the game, we're going to do the post-game interviews, and then Eric, who has been one of the masters of the fantasy league that we've been setting up, is going to come on stream, talk a little bit about the metadata, talk a little bit about the stats. So, we will be running a little bit longer than normal, so please do hang around for that discussion, as he does have a lot of fun stuff to say. Give us an update on how that's going, and I don't know exactly all what's planned, so I'm going to stop right there from telling you anything more specific in the event that I get something wrong.
Looks like the table is up, but Smeoz is working on getting it back together.
Okay.
So we are going to sit here and be patient.
I don't wanna! You can't make me, Dad!
As it turns out, I can.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
Very good. Okay, the table is back up. Table is back up. The
HUD is broken.
pass has been reactivated.
Okay. Go ahead. We'll re-zoom in, get ourselves reoriented. So everyone, please bear with us just a moment. Get the HUD reestablished here. The stream overlay. Everything's going to be terrible now, isn't it? Oh well. Such is life.
Everyone's at 0 hit points.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and turn off the overlay,
Okay.
at the very least.
Yeah, now that I've got this zoomed in. All right. So, we're in a pretty good spot here in terms of action, I will say. I'm very happy with the amount of blood that we have. So, Release the Spirits is currently on the stack. It looks like. Nope, that's still there from last time. This was a worship action, I believe, that is on the stack. And, oh, okay, then we have the... Yeah, that should be gone there. So a worship action from Hokusai is on the stack. Smeoz is currently in the process of thinking, does he want to nourish Astrida and then potentially get doomed as a result? Or does Gameslayer have something else nasty planned? I think Doom would be the worst thing to see right now. Not really anything else.
Doom would be pretty awful.
Oh, boy.
But he couldn't. There's no way he could play it. He doesn't have line of sight of her.
Ah, you're right. That's a good point. So, don't need to worry about that. That is a good point. So, in that case, I'm not sure why Smeoz would be waiting. Is he... Because Astrida's got 3 HP, and Hokusai's Worship does 1 plus the flip. And so, Gameslayer's deck is filled with a whole bunch of +2s. Like, Provoke the Beast is pretty much the only one-shot, or 1 plus 1 in his deck. Okay, that's not actually true, because he has a couple others. He actually has a lot. Okay, so that's actually really not true. But the majority of his cards are +2s, and so does Smeoz want to risk that happening?
Oh, here comes a chasm. Oh, Wow, that is all of Astrida's available mana.
Yes. So, but it's going to save her, right? Because this chasm is going to push her out of, or excuse me, is going to push Hokusai away from her.
There's no way to reset the HP.
Oh, is it not going to work? Okay, I thought tape said that that's what fixes it.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It does fix it if you hit the little Ashen Pass button as you load in. So you know how you load up a saved game and it pops up that annoying pop-up? If you hit the Ashen Pass button, it'll pop up an error that says, hey, we couldn't load something. And it does load all of the assets, but it doesn't something errors out and it can't do something. So people don't typically do that, but what it does is it does set up all of the Ashen Pass triggers.
Oh!
Same with 2 lane.
Oh no! That's gonna leave Astrida with 1 HP. I don't even know how that happens. You flipped the +1, you dropped her HP from 3 to 1, and then the tracker now has her at 5. Oh, I know how that happens, because I remember Tape told me, because that's the area that the HP tracker would appear on the 2-lane map, and that's approximately where the 5 HP would be. So Astrida has 1 HP, even though the overlay says she has 5.
Yep, I can confirm.
So that chasm, very significant in keeping her alive.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's what you want to do here as Smeoz, because you're going to lose one of the domes, and that's going to be a tamer kill.
Right. I mean, at this point,
like you can't. You're not going to win the Nexus. You're not going to win the Nexus. You've got 3 points on Tactician. You're going to lose at least 1 dome.
Right. So the problem, I think, is we're now in the reverse of where we were last game, where Smeoz was looking really good, and Gameslayer is like, oh my god, you're going to need a miracle play. I think the tables have been turned. Like, now Smeoz needs the miracle play. All right, so Gulbjorn is going to activate. Gulbjorn is going to go for a skirmish. We're going to try to kill off Sakoshi here. Sakoshi only has 5 HP, so this is going to give 2 damage to him, as Gulbjorn is shapeshifted. So he does get a +1 bonus to the skirmish damage there as a result of being shapeshifted. He can now kill Sakoshi with the attack, potentially here. So that would bring Yami in. But Sakoshi hasn't activated yet this turn. So not sure that you want to do that, because Yami is known for going zoom, zoom, // oh, you're dead. And with Sakoshi dying, you would be able to get in range to worship on Astrida and then just kill her with Yami. But I think that Smeoz says, we need to get rid of some people. Sakoshi, it's time to die.
Which is funny, because if Smeoz had waited until Dome 2, or rather, waited until Outsiders.
Yep, there we go. Sakoshi's
he could
dead.
have potentially killed off both Akimo and Sakoshi with the Silent Ambassador.
Yes. Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda is the name of the game. Now I'm gonna search the discard real fast here. So, do we have Kneel Before Me in the discard? Oh no, we don't. Oh baby,
there is one card in deck. There's one card in deck.
It better not be Kneel Before Me.
If that is not Kneel Before Me, then he has to have it in his hand.
Yes. Oh baby. Unless I just missed it. I don't think I did though. I know what that card looks like. All right. So, interestingly enough, now, yeah, with this situation here, I honestly, as Gameslayer, I don't even know that you kill Astrida here, because, well, I mean, I guess it could make the case of he could try to hide her again with the Silent Ambassador, but we saw that last round that didn't work out too well. So, I don't know. Do you just want to kill Astrida and then just overwhelm Smeoz, or do you want to leave her Astrida alive and then just kill her with the Tamer? I don't know.
Smeoz has 5 cards in hand. We know that he has 3 sacrifice and 3 nourish.
That's a lot.
He has flipped his deck.
Okay.
I didn't see what his discard composition was.
Okay.
But I do remember seeing at least 2 sacrifices and 2 nourishes flipped. So it's probably safe to say that Astrida has some way of staying alive, even though she's at 1 HP.
So you're saying she's the beaches?
Now, yes.
Staying alive, staying alive. All right, we'll stop right there.
I'm doing exactly that.
We'll stop right there before either A, we get hit with a copyright strike violation, or B, everyone just hates me. Probably the second one.
I think what you want to do here, as Gameslayer, is hell, man, just go for the kill. Just go for the kill. Run Yami up on the control hex. Kill off that minion. Attack. Kill another minion. Worship on Astrida. And force him to use the healing. And if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. And you're in a better position than he is at that point. Actually, no, you're not.
Oh,
because Akimo is sitting there at 3 health. All Smeoz has to do is activate the Silent Ambassador and kill him off, and all of a sudden they're 1-1.
Yeah.
And so I think you do. I think you just let the round go. Oh.
No, we're killing
he didn't even kill a minion.
We're killing Astrida. Oh. No, we're killing Astrida. It's time to kill.
No, he marked Golbjarn though.
Eh? Oh.
Yeah. He's soul screaming. He's got a soul scream.
Oh, does Gameslayer run soul scream? I don't think he runs soul scream. No, he doesn't run soul scream.
Oh, he doesn't run soul scream.
It would be totally awesome if he did, but I don't think he ran it. Okay. All right, so we did move, and this is why I mentioned that Yami just doesn't really care where you're at on the map. As you noticed, she started her activation next to the Nexus for Gameslayer, and now she's basically next to the Nexus for Smeoz, and she can still move 2 more hexes.
She worshipped on Golbjarn?
Yep.
And can now technically attack?
So we did see Shuriken Storm on the flip from that worship effect. So that means... We did not see Kneel Before Me, which means it should be
he has it in hand.
Unless I missed it, which
that
I
was an attack.
Yes, that was an attack.
I think that was an attack.
Yep. Okay.
On Golbjarn.
So we're gonna leave Astrida alive. No, that wouldn't work. That would be pointless. Because she would die to the Kneel Before Me.
What does he have left?
Okay.
Oh, he still has Frail.
Yes.
Oh, he's walling Frail in.
Yep, we're gonna seal
that
Frail
is smart.
in. Oh, baby. Okay, so now Freyhill has to burn both move and skirmish to get out of the dome. And be able to do anything.
If she wants to get out of the dome.
I think she does, because otherwise... So here's the thing. If Smeoz... Or not Smeoz. If Gameslayer has Provoke the Beast, Golbjarn just dies. Akimo moves. Akimo worships on Golbjarn. Attacks Golbjarn, and then plays Provoke the Beast, and it's game over. Like, there's no way that Golbjarn survives that combination without a Nourish, obviously. And then, of course, just for insurance, if there is a Nourish, then Yami just drags Golbjarn with a Kneel Before Me and does 4 more damage to him. So, like...
Yeah.
Unless Smeoz has, like, the CDC's entire medical stock locked and loaded and just dumps all of it, which, to be fair, can only be 3 nourishes because Astrida is tapped. Like, I don't see...
Could be 3 sacrifices. Could be 3 sacrifices.
Well, the problem is that Freyhill probably isn't going to be within line of sight of Golbjarn because you just drag her away. Or drag him away from her with Kneel Before Me.
I see.
And so then she can't sacrifice him. Yep. So Golbjarn can only nourish himself. All right. So we're going to go ahead and worship, bringing Astrida back up to 4 HP. We're going to lead. And what are we going to do here, Smeoz? Are we just going to sit there in the dome?
It could attack the outsider.
You could. That seems utterly pointless, but I don't know what else you're going to do.
You don't want to move, because then
No.
he is moving.
Oh,
That's a bad move.
Oh, boy.
Because now he can just yank Golbearn into the dome, and Astrida is all by herself.
Yep. That's the other thing, too. Kneel before me can just... Oh, boy. Yeah, so now we might just use kneel before me to get... okay. Well, so here's the thing, though. As it stands right now, Astrida is not able to get shot by the Silent Ambassador. And so, therefore, you wouldn't at least get the Tamer kill. Like, Astrida would die here, but you wouldn't get the Tamer point. So, like, nah.
What do you do as a chemo here? Do you move out, attack, and then skirmish back into the dome?
So, like I said, if Gameslayer has Provoke the Beast and has Kneel Before Me, if those are 2 of the 3 cards in his hand, then I think you move down, you worship on to Golbearn to mark him, and then move a chemo adjacent to him, attack him, provoke the Beast against Golbearn, because the attack will deal 5 plus a double flip, with no armor, since Hokusai is within line of sight. So that'll deal, between 5 and 8 damage. Then, you just use Provoke the Beast to kill him. And if at any point, if Astrida goes for the Nourish, then you just use Kneel Before Me to either kill Astrida. Actually, yeah, you just use Kneel Before Me to kill Astrida, and then continue with your Provoke the Beast plan. But, since he's moving there, I'm guessing the answer is he doesn't actually have that. So, we're going to move, we're going to attack a minion, and then we're going to skirmish right back into the dome. That is unfortunate, because that would have been an absolutely baller way to play, but I guess he just doesn't have the resources for it. Feels bad, man.
That's okay.
It is.
That happens.
It does. You can't always have the exact cards for the 5,000 IQ YouTube highlight reel video plays. All right.
An eloquent way to put that.
So, as it stands here, Freyhill led is the only person who led. So in the lane, it looks like Smeoz will win by 1, as it's 2 heroes and 4 minions to 2 heroes and 3 minions. So Smeoz wins the lane.
Actually,
by 1.
it's 2 heroes and 4 minions to 1 hero and 3 minions, because
Yami is not within range.
Because Yami is out of loss.
Okay, so Golbearn is playing Nourish. At this point, this is where you kill Astrida or you fling Golbearn into the dome. Oh, we're not actually counting yet, yeah. So this is also a point where you can just kill Astrida as Yami. Or you can fling Golbearn into the dome with Kneel Before Me. Or you can do neither of those and let him heal Astrida, which would be an absolute bummer, but that might be what has to happen.
I think...
I want violence! I don't want any of this healing. I want blood! I don't care if Smeoz kills Gameslayer or Gameslayer kills Smeoz, but someone needs to die.
But RG, if they heal, then they get to fight more.
Yes, but I want death and destruction.
Gosh, not what I got a drink in my mouth. Oh my god.
I want death, destruction, and the body pile up to look something like the ancient Roman Colosseums. That was actually probably a bad analogy. Okay, there it is. Kneel Before Me, the greatest card in the...
There's the Kneel Before Me.
I just hit the spacebar button. Everyone, I apologize. I got so excited that I ended up resetting the game, so let's go ahead and zoom back in there. And then I'll get Kneel Before Me on the field. The greatest card in the game. Objectively.
Marking, slowing, yanking Golbearn into the dome. Oh, I think this is it. I think this is it.
Where is Kneel Before Me?
Oh, Chasm. Chasm.
Okay.
A chasm to push Golbearn back out into the open.
Okay. Fair enough.
They're now both at 7.
Yes.
And dangerously low.
Yes.
Astrida is in is in range of the dome perimeter, the outside of the dome perimeter of Dome 3.
Which means that once again,
geez.
Smeoz is going to have to use his Silent Ambassador to attempt to defend Astrida. Because otherwise... Oh, but here's the problem. If you attempt to defend Astrida, guess what we do? We change gears and go after G-Baby. Like, in this case, what do you do with Smeoz? Like I'm not making that rhetorical. I'm making that a question to you because I don't have an answer. Like, Smeoz has 2 people at 7 HP. If he tries to use his Silent Ambassador to defend one, then the other one just gets shot and blown up. Because Hokusai has line of sight there, so, like, what do you do in this case? Do you have any ideas, sir? Because I don't.
As Smeoz?
Yes. How does Smeoz get his way out of this?
How does Smeoz get out of this? I think... Okay, let me think. Oh, that could maybe work. So you allow the enemy outsider placement, right?
Okay.
You place your outsider.
Okay. So we've seen the wormhole. So Astrida is now in the cover hex. So Astrida is safe. But like we said, now we just turn our attention to Golbjorn.
Oh yeah, no, this was not the play I was thinking they would do.
Yeah.
So.
Like Stone Storm's not going to help you because Gameslayer just swaps his ambassador with Smeoz's, and then he's now right next to Golbjorn. Like.
Yep. He doesn't even have to swap the Silent Ambassador. He can just swap Yami with Golbjorn.
That's also true. Yeah, you could do that as well.
And Golbjorn is marked, so he's at 0 armor.
Yes. Oh no, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's brutal because, well, in that case, I don't think you even waste the swap. I think you do a skirmish action just to get closer, and then you Stone Storm and you attack. Okay, or you just do
he's swapping.
Okay, I mean this is slightly not quite.
I agree though. That would have been the correct play, is to skirmish attack Stone Storm.
Yeah, because that's 4 damage plus 3 flips, and with 0 armor and 7 HP, and Gameslayer's deck, that's a dead Golbjorn. Wait. Or did he undo the... Wait. What is he doing?
I think he might be undoing the wormhole.
Okay. Okay, perhaps Gameslayer realized, no, there it is. You want to go ahead for the skirmish. 2 damage to Golbjorn. Yep, there we go. Okay, so now we do the skirmish.
2.
Now we do the attack action. Play. There it is.
And that's a dead Golbjorn.
That is a dead Golbjorn.
Oh my god.
Tamer victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gameslayer pulls it out against Smeoz.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Good game to both of our players. That was wild. I hope you were as excited as I sounded because that was incredible.
That was a phenomenal game for both players. Just very well played. Oh my gosh. So shall we go and interview the?
Yes, let's go talk to
folks.
Them. That was wild. Oh my lord.
Call +3, even if you just swap the correct target, it would have been a kill regardless.
Yes.
Because I hit a +3 on that attack.
Good game.
Hey guys,
again, I made some mistakes, but I survived.
Very, very well played for all parties involved.
That was a great game. Holy cow.
That was heart pounding.
Yeah.
Smeoz.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that was very beautifully done. That just gosh, it was fantastic. It was just fantastic. You both did beautifully. You both did beautifully.
Completely messed up by putting my Sakoshi there when his Shalivi and Astrida were both there for the worship.
Mm-hmm.
He missed a revenge trigger at one point, which was fine because I realized I should have been attacking the Shalivi with a chemo, force the kill, And then I've got Yami, and Akimo got an attack off, which is really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we were
Yep,
wondering when we
we-
saw that. We're like, did Smeoz opt not to revenge? Because there was no reason not to, but that's what ended up happening. There.
But the thing is, I saw the provoke the beast in my hand, and I was like, I just want to go with this with Sakoshi, and I just want to try for it. Because it was like, I either attack Shilvi with Akimo, or I go with attacking Estrida.
Okay.
And if I attack Estrida with Akimo, he doesn't die.
Right.
Because revenge wasn't the thing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to save the Akimo thing for a bit, but then I realized that, he can just dump all the revenge onto Sakoshi.
Right.
And then he disarmed his own outsider. I'm like, I don't want to hit that with Release the Spirits. But I have this
Yeah,
provoke, so how do I get him to 3 health?
3 Release the Spirits is too much for me.
2 Release the Spirits, yeah. My last 2 cards in hand were both Psychic Shield.
Oh my, nice. Nice.
I was like, I am not dying to this frail nonsense.
Right.
The only one healing cards I have seen in 4 rounds is this card. One. So
That's the only one?
Yeah, he only got the 1. It was insane.
Oh, man.
He led with Soul Scream at the very start, and I was like, must mean he has another Soul Scream. I'm going to keep this Psychic Shield till I die.
yeah. Yeah. I probably is the same in this turn. I can't stay alive. I have the ultimate of Gurbian too, but I can't do nothing here. So
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, very good.
You'd already played the Nourish. I was like, right, Gulbion's ult's cancelled. So now what do I do? I should have. I probably should have. I should have hit Estrida with my ult, right, with the Neil before me. That was just a flat out mistake because I thought to myself, Estrida gets hit for 4 and she dies, but no, she goes here. Hokusai can't see her. She takes 3. She lives.
Okay.
That was a mistake, because then once we calculated Gulbion's health, I was like, oh, damn it. Yeah, no, that doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And his Chasm from Frail couldn't hit both.
Yep. Very good game. Very good game.
That was amazing from both of you. You both played very, very well.
Yep. Yeah. Very good player, Gameslayer. And Akimo is the scared voice of the game, huh?
He was there. He was involved. He did stuff. I'm sorry that I spent like 30 minutes thinking of my second action round too.
Yeah.
It was even the case of like Estrida going here and leading, and it's like, well, do I win if that happens? I do, but maybe I want to try and make him think he doesn't.
Yeah, I could probably kill Akimo with Estrida and draw 2 cards, but I lose the mid and the Yami go in the dome to take that target, so it's not a good decision.
I knew I had the +3 on top, so I moved with Yami. I moved around the minion. I was expecting the Chasm to come out there, though, from Gulbion. I was expecting Gulbion to Chasm the Yami worship.
Yep.
And then there wasn't too much I could do from there, but then... but by getting that worship off from Yami, she hits here, Frail is stuck.
Yep.
Also,
Very good game. Very good game.
All right, so as many of you who are watching just watched a whole bunch of different screens pop up in Flash because I don't know how to program OBS efficiently. You did see we are going to take a quick brief talk with Eric as soon as he is ready, which it looks like he's coming up shortly here. We're going to just talk a little bit about the fantasy data. So, again, we do want to congratulate Gameslayer. Thank you for continuing to get me more points. Also, good job on advancing to the next round.
Congratulations, Smeoz. Top 4. Good showing. If you hadn't have got to top 4, I think it would have been a travesty. But you got to top 4, so well done. Good showing.
And
we destroyed these fantasy brackets.
No, keep going. You're doing great for me. I had both of you picked.
Good luck.
Who the hell picks a Gameslayer?
I do. I believed in you. I had to put up with you all throughout the 2v2 league. Like, I knew my faith would be well placed. All right, so at this time, I would like to welcome Eric to the stream. Eric, our master of the fantasy data.
Hey, RG.
Hi, Eric.
Hey, guys. Great game, by the way. That was a real touch. There was an awful lot of who's winning, which is winning. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty, RG. So, do you want to start with the Google Doc, maybe?
So yeah, it looks like that's going to be the only one that I'm able to bring up. So it is up on my screen now because for whatever reason, I guess I never installed Excel on this actual computer, and it's not like letting me reorganize the file type, so I can't open the XLX file. But I am able to bring up the Google Doc with the metadata. So as you talk, I will be happy to scroll up and down to wherever you need me to.
All right. So this is just a list of the responses, so what people had chosen. So I think it's kind of interesting to see what people chose. So
Sure.
if you scroll down a little bit, we don't care about the usernames. So the exactly 3 heroes.
Yep.
Down a little bit.
Okay. I'm on.
Oh,
Okay.
am I on delay? Because I still see the Discord usernames.
Yes. The stream is about 30 seconds behind, but I'm on the part
got
that
it.
says choose exactly 3 heroes.
Okay, sorry. Then I better bring it up on a separate screen so I know what I'm looking at.
Yep. Sorry. If I was actually a good streamer, then we would have all of this synchronized and planned out, but obviously I'm not, so I'm sorry.
So it was interesting as stuff was coming in. We definitely had a and race happening early on, and Frail ended up pulling ahead, but those were 2 of the most popular. And for a little while, Eckert was making a charge on Yami, but Yami in the end made a kick and came up way ahead. But those were the 3 drafted most heavily, and then after that, there's some, like 6, 7, 8 other guys in that 7 to 10 range. So there was a fair variety of choices there, and only a couple guys didn't get drafted. I think there were 3 of them. So like Korjov, Habarat, and Kuti. But you'll see that Habarat actually made a decent show in there. So I found that interesting.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
Real quick, I just wanted to point out, there was actually a fair amount I've seen of Habarat and Korjov. I'm surprised that nobody actually put him in their draft choices with how many players brought them both to their decks.
But part of it is also like if you're bringing Korjov, are you probably bringing Frail? So you do that as a vote,
fair.
right? Since
That's
you only
true.
have 3,
True.
even if Korjov is like the 4th guy in all your lineups, you're like, I want to pick the other 3. Anyway,
That's fair.
there's just different ways to draft, right?
Sure.
So yeah. Alrighty. So the next one, if you will scroll down,
Okay, choose exactly 3 cards.
exactly 3 cards. Yes. So here the race was on, and early on it was on Burial Rites, but Doom overtook it as the most popular choice. So people were thinking, I assume, the red flip decks were going to do well. But in Burial Rites came in second. Chasm, so a blue control card. Stone Barricade back to a green aggressive deck or a green pillar deck, right? That combos well with that. It's also a +2 on those green decks. And then after that, you got Release the Spirits, which we just saw how good that did today. Bewitch, Touch Lothian, and Sacrifice. So like a good variety, I think, overall. And at one point, I was keeping track of how many of each card were picked, and I think it was like Leothin had the most, but it wasn't by a lot. Like, it was a very nice distribution across all the colors for what people were choosing for what they thought the best cards were. So that was cool to see.
Yeah,
it means like Ricardo and Giacomo know something about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So if you scroll down, we can look at the drafted players.
Yep.
And so a whole bunch of, like Gameslayer says, brackets just got busted because Smeoz there. 66% of the people thought Smeoz was going to do well. So, but he did get top 4, so he's added a lot of points to a lot of people. I got there in second place, but, my kids voted too, so those numbers are padded a little bit. And then there's a variety of people underneath there. But yeah, I think it was interesting. Obviously, the Brazilians and last chance qualifiers had less votes since they didn't get even in the system until the night before. So, yep.
Yes.
And then if we go down to the last one, you can check on the outsiders. So this one, the other 3, I tried to scale the points about the same across those 3 things. The outsider was way less points, but it was still an interesting thing to add. Clinton wanted on there, so we did this. And for the longest time, we had no Lord of Ancestors or Scourge, but some brave soul picked the Scourge of Puido.
Yep.
And I think 3 people ended up picking Lord of the Ancestors. But by and large, people were interested in the Silent Ambassador, and then the original Outsider were the heavy favorites there on those picks.
Yes.
So that was what the community thought was going to be good. And now, after sending the Excel doc, I also sent you a screenshot. Can you open the screenshot, maybe?
Let's find out. Let's see. Well, I have it open. It should still be under the same capture thing, so in about 30 seconds we'll know. let's assume that it is, and please proceed to talk about it. And if not, then everyone will just have to look at a pie chart while you talk about it.
Okay, cool. Let me bring it up on my side here. So running numbers of what actually happened, and you'll notice at the top a bunch of them are starred, and those are the ones that we banned. So basically there were 10 cards that we banned, 2 from each color and 2 gray cards that we just said nobody gets to look at those nobody gets to draft those just because they seemed a little bit obvious. And like the 2 that really stuck out in our minds when we did this was Psychic Shield and Presence, and in fact those were the 2 highest played cards in there. And so if we just did this, those 2 would just get picked by most people, and it wouldn't be very interesting to draft. So. Right. And by and large, we did a pretty good job on the ones that we decided to ban. But if you notice first of all, I just think it's interesting because some people love Psychic Shield and other people actually don't think it's a great card. I'm more in the second category, but this proves out that an awful lot of decks. So 71, and we're talking, so the way this works, it's 1 point per card. Brought per game 1. So there was 42 games so far. This is not counting the game that Smeoz and Gameslayer just played. So 42 games, and you could possibly have 3 copies of a card. So basically you're talking 126 cards possible, and 71. So that is more than half of the cards that won games had Psychic Shield, up to half of what they could be done. And then Presence obviously came in second there, and that's splashed in yellow decks and green decks. Everything except for the heavy red decks, I think, had a fair amount of presences. And then after that, we've got the 2 awesome green cards, Rampant Hatred and Sinkhole. But besides that, you'll see all those red cards. And I think red was the breakout story of this tournament. And we'll see that here in a second on the hero side also.
You're welcome.
Yes, the charge is being led by Tim Bunn and Gameslayer at this point. So, yeah. So, I find these numbers pretty interesting, but yeah, after you get to the first 10 or so cards, then now you're down into 20s and stuff like that. And so, there's Unburial Rights decks and they want them, but that's not a card you splash. Like you're either in on Unburial decks thing or you're not, right? And then I think, personally, I didn't think there was going to be that much barring the way, but it has seemed to be very important, I think, against the Unburial Rights. Yes. And, one of those cards that's there. Of the new cards, we definitely weren't going to ban them, but Release the Spirits, I think we saw it again today, and it has performed admirably as a +2 red card out there.
Very much.
So the second column is the same thing but done for heroes, and so you'll notice the actual, everybody voted for Yami and Freyhel, and there you go, Yami and Freyhel each had 15 times that they were in the winning deck. And there were 42 games, so, out of 42, 30 of them were one of those. And not surprisingly, since they're opposite colors and opposite runes completely, they're never in the same deck. So basically 32 had one of those 2 people in them. And then after that, I did a little other breakdown and, a couple Talots, but mostly Nuptin, mono Nuptins, made up the rest of it. And then there was one interesting deck built by Carbo, which was a Mayuki, Kichi, and 2 a Shadris and something else yellow deck. But that was the only other thing that was like a reddish deck that didn't have Yami. And then Hokusai was Yami's running mate in all but one of those Yami decks. Hokusai was there with her. And then, going down the list there, I think it's just interesting to see what they are. And then to the far right column, there's the add up. And you'll see there, Kurumos had 70 wins. And then the other 3 colors, as far as heroes in things, was about the same. So even though there weren't a lot of Talot decks, green heroes were in the red decks, green heroes were in the blue decks, so they still got played. They just didn't get played as a mono faction as much as the other colors. So that is kind of just an overview of that. And I don't know, can you bring up your Discord just to show some people in case somebody here hasn't seen it? Because I do want to off one other thing.
Let's see if I do window capture, perhaps. Let's see if we just do this. I just make stuff up on the fly here.
Sure.
That's good. Okay.
And then head over to the fantasy channel.
Sure.
So this is something anybody can do that's out there.
Okay.
And if you put an exclamation mark leader and hit enter. So after all those numbers that we saw, which was mostly about the meta, the fantasy draft, we weighted by round. So this win by Gameslayer, his heroes and his cards are going to be weighted heavier than the games that were going one in round 1 and round 2, and it'll keep going. So the games on next Saturday will have even more weight. So even if you're not in first place now, there's a good chance you can catch up if your people or heroes or cards are still in the running. But if you're looking at the leaderboard, you can see at this moment our commander there is number 1. So
I may not be able to play well, but boy, can I predict him well.
Yep. So Gameslayer, I think, is helping your cause to keep that going. So he is. But this leaderboard's been changing a lot over the weekend. I think it was very interesting to just watch as it goes. And so if somebody's like, Gameslayer, why does he... And this, by the way, we should give a big thanks to Joe for Tapeworm for programming all this.
Yes.
But if you go ahead and do a exclamation mark picks RGC, then up will pop your pick. So you can see, why did RGCommander get this far? Oh, look, he's got Gameslayer here. And then if you do a exclamation mark rank RGC, you will get to see where your numbers came from. Like, did they come from the outsider? Did they come from the heroes? Did they come from the cards or the players and stuff like that? So anybody can go out there and do that in the Fantasy Channel, and it's a lot of fun. So I had a lot of fun doing it, and I think it's added a little bit of intrigue to all the things that are happening. So that's what I just wanted to share with the community.
Yeah, this was great. I want to thank you and Clinton and Tape for putting all the work in that you guys did. I know you guys did a lot of testing and getting this thing ready, so thank you. And I have enjoyed doing the fantasy draft. I've been enjoying it since before I topped the leaderboard, and I dare any of you to come from my throne. All right.
Awesome.
I'm kidding, by the way. Do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about, Eric, while we have you? Anything else?
Nope. I think that's it. Thank you very much for having me. Let me share this.
Of course. My pleasure. So, then, on behalf of Eric, Michael, the two players, Smeoz and Gameslayer, thank you very much for everyone tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Please stay tuned. The World Championship is not over. We're coming to the conclusion, but we still have a few games left. Stay tuned. We will keep them posted in the content channel when they're available. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you all.